So let me ask you this question. Have you ever been disappointed by someone whose actions did not live up to their promises? Kind of similar, but a little different. I think back to the days, this is not related to people, but I think back to the days of my childhood where I always loved comic books. Never really had enough money to buy them because they were still pretty expensive, so I was only getting what my neighbors didn't want anymore, or maybe someone would give me as a gift. I had a few comic books, but I didn't really read the comics. I thought they were boring and stupid. I wanted the ads. Right in the middle and the front of the cover and the back of the cover, they had the most amazing ads in there. And the one that I want to share with you, the one that I get the biggest kick out of, I think I got it printed out here. It's not the real thing, but it's a copy. Sea monkeys. Sea monkeys, live, frolicking pets that will smile and come to the front of their aquarium just to greet you because they're so happy to see you. Sea monkeys. Oh, I always wanted sea monkeys. It wasn't until I grew up, although I was an aquarist, I kept a lot of aquariums, so I knew what brine shrimp were. I didn't know those were what the sea monkeys were. But brine shrimp are these little 3/8 of an inch long little swimmy things that fish eat. And they come from little eggs that are about the size of grains of sand. And then you hatch them in a little hatcher, and then they grow up and you feed them to your fish. Well, later on in life at an antique store, I happened to see a packet of sea monkeys, in the original envelope and everything. And I thought, well, monkeys can't come in an envelope. How does this work? And I read through it, and they pull out the brine shrimp eggs, and I realized this whole thing was a lie. So I guess I'm glad I didn't get duped into that earlier. But there's all kinds of fun things that we can talk about that doesn't stand up to our promises. Back in the day of the Western days, it was called snake oil. The guys would go to one town to another with a bottle of oil and probably some other toxic chemicals that they would sell to heal you from cancer or heart disease or, maybe gangrene, all these crazy things, and then they would leave town. It wouldn't matter because they got their money and you got taken. Sometimes they're called pitchmen. Billy Mays was one of the modern pitchmen. I don't even remember the stuff he sold, but he was really good at his art. Ron Popeil, the Vegematic. Anyone ever have a Vegematic? It kind of worked. Pocket fisherman. Always wanted one of those. It's a little fishing pole about that big with everything you need to go fishing. I got one of those at a garage sale about 10 years ago just for old time's sake. But no, I don't think those would work for much other than ice fishing. The buttoneer. The buttoneer. My mom had one of those crazy things every time, and my mom could sew. But every time I pulled a button off, I thought, oh no, she's gonna do the buttoneer. It's a little plastic rivet that goes through there and holds your button on. So every day at school, I had a shirt with 1 or 2 buttons with a bright red rivet on there. It was, I was probably the talk of the place. Circus sideshows, ever been to those? I don't think they have them anymore, but they got these kind of really weird paintings of people all distorted, and then you go in and actually see the sideshow and it's all made up. So anyways, but the most disappointing is when people don't live up to what their standards should be. Certainly I've failed to live up to my promises, to my wife, to my kids, to the people I work with. How about you? Have you ever been the person that talks the talk but doesn't walk the walk? Remember again what James says. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says.